being near moorland again, Sylvia wrote a poem that was based on her memories of this extraordinary hike from Haworth up to the wind-swept ruin of Top Withens, the supposed location of Heathcliff's manor in the Bronte novel. It was this forlorn place that inspired Sylvia's most original evocation of the moors, her own Wuthering Heights.
The horizons ring me like faggots, tilted and disparate and always unstable. Touched by a match, they might warm me, and their fine lines singe the air to orange before the distances they pin evaporate, weighting the pale sky with a solider colour. But they only dissolve and dissolve, like a series of promises as I step forward. There is no life higher than the grass tops or the hearts of sheep, and the wind pours by like destiny, bending everything in one direction. I can feel it trying to funnel my heat away. If I pay the roots of the heather too close attention, they will invite me to whiten my bones among them. The sheep know where they are, browsing in their dirty wool clouds, grey as the weather. The black slots of their pupils take me in. It is like being mailed into space, a thin, silly message. They stand about in grandmotherly disguise, all wig curls and yellow teeth and hard, marbly bars. I come to wheel ruts and water limpid as the solitudes that flee through my fingers. Hollow doorsteps go from grass to grass. Lintel and sill have unhinged themselves. Of people the air only remembers a few odd syllables. It rehearses them moaningly. Black stone, black stone. The sky leans on me. Me, the one upright among all horizontals. The grass is beating its head distractedly. It is too delicate for a life in such company. Darkness terrifies it. Now, in valleys narrow and black as purses, the house lights gleam like small change.
What a fantastic walk. It's an incredibly thrilling landscape anyway, but walking up here with the lines of Plath's poem in my head, it was even more charged with energy. Everywhere I looked, I kept seeing parts of the poem, the grass distractedly beating its head, the black stones of the walls, and then feeling this wind pouring by like destiny, as she says. But of course, this is why Plath came here, for this building. So I'm going to have a look inside. Although this ruin has no specific association with Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights, its exposed position right on the top of the moors is thought to have inspired the setting of Heathcliff's fictional manor. You can only imagine how excited she would have been to get here. I mean, one of the main reasons that she was so keen to come to Britain was because of its literary history, and here she was, literally immersed in it. But where you sense in her earlier writing that this weight of literary history may have been intimidating, now she has the confidence to take the title Wuthering Heights and tell her own story.
As well as a seriousness and a passion, she's always been wonderful at rooting into her subconscious for exactly the right image to express an emotion, but also a kind of a wit, a great humour that really expresses itself wonderfully in Wuthering Heights in the sheep. And although the sheep are sinister, they're also a bit silly or womanish. And she characterises that, I think, beautifully. It's deft. It's wonderfully deft.
For me, one of the most successful things about Wuthering Heights is the way that Sylvia Plath captures this environment by using some incredibly startlingly surprising imagery. So, for example, in Hardcastle Crags, although her line, "the incessant seethe of grasses riding in the full of the moon," works and is a really vivid description, in Wuthering Heights, She takes this to a whole new level when she writes, "The grass is beating its head distractedly. It is too delicate for a life in such company. Darkness terrifies it." And we know that although she's got exactly the right image for the grasses up there, that she's also talking about herself. So the grasses and her state of mind have really become one. So it's a fantastic landscape poem, and for me, one of her best, because although her psychology is very present in it, it's still a landscape poem that brings this environment to vital life in a really amazing way. Wuthering Heights must have been a poem that Sylvia Plath rated highly, as she made it the opening to Crossing the Water, the second collection she had planned for publication.